Hey everybody, Jeff aka GCurse here. Welcome to another Transformers unboxing and review. Today I have a figure that, even though I like the figure the way it looks, this figure continues the long-running trend of Hasbro being lazy. What figure is it that I'm talking about? Stay tuned, and after these commercials from the 1980s, you will soon find out.
Let's make breakfast. Okay. How?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Follow us. We're Cinnamon Toast Crunch Bakers.
We're Cinnamon Toast Crunch Tasters.
We use the finest ingredients, sprinkles of real cinnamon and sugar for a special homemade taste.
Part of this nutritious breakfast.
Making homemade taste.
We bake breakfast.
In the Cinnamon
Toast Crunch.
The figure that I'm about to unbox and do a review of is a figure that came out back in 2020, so it's been about roughly 3 years, depending on exactly when it was released. This figure is a Generation Selects repaint of Earthrise Cliffjumper. So, to those who are not sure yet, today I will be doing the unboxing and review of the Generation Selects Deluxe Class Hubcap. And here he is in all his hubcappy gloriness. Or gloriness? Fuck it, whatever, Overall, I do not mind this figure. It's just a sad shame that this figure is actually, it basically continues the same problem that Hasbro has had for years now, and that being repaints where they charge a little bit more, but you get either the same figure or less. And I'll get to that point in a minute, but first, let's get to the rest of this stuff, shall we? So this figure, I bought this figure from Amazon recently. I got it, ordered it back on November 7th, I think it was, and I got it November 11th. This figure is actually part of a large order that I did at the time, so that's why you see the DK3 breaker. It's just I didn't want to try to cut the image and then, but do a bunch of editing. So, but basically we're just focusing on the hubcap figure. This figure cost me originally $23.99. I got it from Toy Planet. I had no problems with this figure arriving, so if you want and you're watching this and you need a hubcap or whatever, Toy Planet seems to be one of the reputable sellers. So as I said, I paid $23.99 and then I added 8.2 sales tax because the government still wants to fuck you over, so you're going to get fucked over no matter what. So 8.2%. It equaled out to about $25.95 for this figure. This figure is basically a straight up repaint, slight remold of the Earthrise Cliffjumper. The only difference between these two is the head sculpt. The head sculpt is different. They recolor the plastic for the windows. Hubcap has a slightly brownish, smoky color, whereas Cliffjumper has the clear blue plastic. The Cliffjumper in this picture is slightly different because I'm using the weapons that came with the weapons pack with the Centurion drone. That's why Cliffjumper does not have that stupid fucking looking bazooka thing that Hubcap has. But that is it for the unveiling. Stay tuned, and when I return, it will be with the unboxing. So I will be right back.
Oh, I'm so tired. I danced all night at the ball, and I lost one of my golden slippers. If you dial this number, I'll tell you how I met my prince, what it's like to live in a real castle,
In a castle?
even how I learned to get along with my stepsisters. There's a new Cinderella story every day just for you. There's my prince. Don't forget to call me.
$2 per call. Children, get your parents' permission before you dial. Call now.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. If you're curious, this is the portion of the show where I'm doing the unboxing, but I already do the unboxing before I do these recordings. I just don't really feel like trying to cut a box open and fighting with it on camera. I may bring it back in the future, but especially when it comes to figures that the packages are utter shit, I don't really feel the need to open it up, but I do take pictures so everybody can see it. So what is it that the package that Hubcap came in, what does it look like? Well, it is that same bullshit that the consumer got during the War for Cybertron era from Generation Selects. It is a shitty cardboard box with the Autobot symbol spray painted on it. It's supposed to be all kind of like radical and like revolutionist like, I guess you could say. But to me, it's fucking lazy. The box, besides what you see here, the box was mainly just a bunch of brown without that much on it. The bottom of the box actually had nothing on it to even show the consumer what it was that they were getting. The only identification that these packages came with is a sticker on the lid that would actually say what figure it was. Hasbro, during this time especially, is fucking lazy. They couldn't even give a picture of what the character, the figure looked like. You don't even know what you're going to get until you get home and you open the box up. Granted, it has a sticker, but you know, stickers can be falsified. That's why I hate these type of boxes. I'm not really a fan of totally enclosed boxes, but at least you get a fucking picture of some sort to show what you're going to get. That's why I kind of like the Legacy Evolution and the Legacy box art for the Generation Selects. It's done in kind of like a little, like a matrix, I guess you could say, matrix grid type outline of the figure. So I can give them a little bit of respect for that. But when it came to the War for Cybertron era Generation Selects boxes, these were like the epitome of laziness. It's just fucking lazy, and Hasbro should be fucking ashamed of themselves. But as you can see, so this figure was placed in the plastic tray. It had the god-awful plastic securing bands. This is one of those times that they don't know how they want to secure these figures. I've had these figures secured via plastic bands. I've had these figures literally have the plastic vacuum sealed around the figure itself, which I actually like that. I prefer to what we get with this one. I've even had them secured with paper or just sandwiched between two pieces of cardboard. I'll be honest, if I had to go with a plastic setup when it comes to securing these figures, I would go where the plastic is literally vacuum sealed around the Transformer itself. Yes, it takes a little bit more time to get the figure free, but you don't have the goddamn mess that you get by cutting these goddamn plastic bands. You know, that shit drives me up the fucking wall. Let's see here, but that is about it. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back with the conversion process. Stay tuned.
Hi, it's me again. When you go to the ocean, it's good to take fruit roll-ups and fruit wrinkles. The fishes like to eat fruit wrinkles because they're bite-sized and they're chewy. And the fruit roll-ups are so delicious and so stretchy, they can even keep an octopus occupied. They put lots of real fruit and fun in fruit roll-ups and fruit wrinkles, so I don't mind sharing, even if it's with my little sister.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. If you are enjoying what you're watching, feel free to leave a like, or you can always click on subscribe. That way you'll get updated to when I release more Transformers unboxing and review videos. Today I'm doing the shit, Jeff, I can't even fucking talk right now. Anyway, I'm doing the unboxing review of the Generation Selects Deluxe Class Hubcap. When it came to the converting this figure, I'm starting to get a little bit used to converting these figures. However, there are some figures I just will never convert, like Grapple, for example, from Earthrise. Simply because I'm pretty sure I have the Grapple that has the fucked up pegs that his body parts would tab into and everything. And I know the answer that here is, well, you just gotta kind of file them down a little bit and they will be fine. If I have to fucking do Hasbro's job, then they should be paying me. Guess what? I'm not getting paid to do their job. Therefore, I'm not going to do their job. Therefore, I will talk shit about their product. and basically they will have to like it because that's just how I am, I guess. Excuse me. But basically, as I was saying though, I have been getting used to converting these figures. Overall, I would say that this is about, this is pretty easy, like it is with not legacy, with the War for Cybertron Siege Sideswipe mold. Once I got, once I learned how to convert Cliffjumper, it was pretty easy with Hubcap, mainly because Hubcap is literally the same figure as Cliffjumper, just minus the different head sculpt. I went through the Just Transform It video from MGO316. It was his Cliffjumper video that I use as a blueprint to learn how to convert these figures. So I will put that in the description below, so you can always watch that video if you're curious. But yeah, this definitely was not a difficult figure to convert once I learned the steps. But then again, this is a deluxe class figure, so I'm pretty sure deluxe class figures are not meant to be overly taxing when it comes to converting. I would have to give the converting process of this figure, like, if I was given like a score, I'd say like it was like a 9 out of 10. It wasn't that hard. When it came to the finished product, where they were in their their alt modes basically, the hubcap figure rolled nicely on the table that I do this work at. However, I followed exactly the same steps for Cliffjumper, and he would not roll that easy at all. He would roll a couple inches at the most, and then it would be one of those, like, just a quick kind of stop, like you could just tell something is not aligned correctly, but I don't know what it was, and I'm not going to fucking try to figure it out. Once again, this goes to an issue with Hasbro. Hasbro makes these figures, but they don't make it. It's not done to such an extent where the rolling is easy. I've heard answers like, well, maybe if they updated how the wheels are attached, that could help. I don't know how. I don't know anything about that. I'm not a fucking engineer. All I know is that the hubcap figure rolls fucking nicely. The Cliffjumper figure rolls like absolute shit. Maybe that's why it's called Cliffjumper, because he just falls off a fucking cliff instead of actually trying to jump off of it. I don't fucking know. But anyway, so that is it for the conversion of these figures. It wasn't that hard. I just wish the wheels on Cliffjumper actually rolled a little bit better.
Harness the power, Dino Riders.
The evil Rulon shackle the Deinonychus.
Spray pods are on attack!
They're sitting ducks!
Heroic Questar on Diplodocus opens the secret pod.
They're firing on me!
Look out for the trap!
Take this, airhead!
The hidden rockets blast the evil Rulon.
We'll meet again, Questar!
Diplodocus with motorized walking action, each sold separately.
Dino Riders.
Alrighty, everybody. It is now time for the review. Basically, I will go into a little bit of like the positives and negatives. There's no real pet peeves this time around when it comes to this figure. So let's start off with the positives. I always try to start off on a good footnote and then work my way down. So positives. There is a different head sculpture, as you can see here. I think, honestly, the head sculpture could have been a little bit better, but at least, it isn't just literally like a poor man's recolor where they literally take Cliffjumper here and then repaint him into a different color, but they don't change, like, the head or anything. It's like they could have literally just repainted him and said, oh, this is Hubcap. No, motherfucker. That's Cliffjumper with just a yellow paint scheme. So they actually did put on a different head, so I got to give them credit for that. The coloring is vibrant. I know the camera may not show it, but the coloring is actually pretty vibrant. I don't know much about this character. The only thing is that the orange does kind of clash a little bit with the yellow, but it isn't like horrendously bad. It just looks kind of weird, but I don't know anything about the character, so the character may actually have an orange face. I don't know. So, finally, the conversion. As I stated during the conversion portion of this video, the conversion was actually pretty fun once I actually learned what the steps were. Does this mean I'm going to be converting every figure I get? Fuck no. Some figures have a history of being a minefield, basically. If you try converting it, things will break off, especially if it deals with clear plastic. I took a risk converting this guy and Cliffjumper, but these guys are not that hard to find. They're pretty common, so that's why I converted this guy. Now, onto the negatives. Where there's positives, there's always going to be negatives. There's always going to be negatives. The lack of a different weapon. This piece of shit weapon. This weapon makes sense with Cliffjumper, because Cliffjumper actually had one of these things. I think he was trying to kill Megatron, and somehow that fool who had this big fucking barreled weapon, he still couldn't hit the goddamn target. It makes sense that Cliffjumper would have a weapon like this. It makes no fucking sense that this guy has it. Unless he actually has this type of weapon in whatever media that he's from, but I don't know if he does or not. So I'm just going to say that he didn't, that they just packed this in with this guy. And it also doesn't make fucking sense to have this same weapon with the Generation Selects Bug Bite figure. No, what it is, ladies and gentlemen, as much as people don't want to fucking admit it, it's Hasbro being lazy. They don't want to take the time to actually justify the slightly higher price point for this figure. So they're just going to tack in the same goddamn garbage weapon that they gave to Cliffjumper. And I'm sorry, I do not consider a different head sculpt to cause the price to go slightly higher, because you're not getting two heads for the price of one, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting just one head. It would have been something different if you could actually remove this head for, like, say, Cliffjumper's head, like what you can do with the Troop Builder pack. But no, you don't get two heads. You're basically paying a slightly elevated price for the same character, just with a different head sculpt, plus the same goddamn piece of shit weapon. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, going into that. This figure could have used different weapons. Hell, one weapon and an accessory or something, just to fucking justify the higher price point that this figure demanded back when it was first released. Up next, that leads to the second point, the price. For some goddamn reason, these Generation Selects figures, even when it's not on the third party market, when it's fresh from Hasbro, they tend to still jack up the price of these figures, even by $1 or $2, as little as $1 or $2, or it could be even more. Why? Why the fuck does a different head sculpt deserve a higher price point? And the answer is, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't. It does not deserve it. I'm not sure what the Generation Selects are going for right now, but I remember looking when they first announced Hubcap, and then, I looked at this guy, and I compared the prices. The base for this guy was I think it was back then, was like, what was it, like $20.99 or $19.99? This guy was going for like $22.99, $23.99. So you're telling me that for some fucked up reason, this figure is worthy of being $3 to $4 more than this figure? Fuck no, it doesn't work like that with me, Jack. It doesn't work like that. If they tacked in, let's say that this, and then they gave like 4 different weapons or a couple accessories and a couple more weapons, I would say, okay, fine. They actually gave something to justify the price increase. But I'm sorry, literally a different head sculpt, and this shit does not warrant. It does not warrant a goddamn higher price point. It just doesn't. It doesn't. And you can fucking argue till you're blue in the balls. It doesn't mean that you're right. It just doesn't. The people who fucking defend Hasbro are the same idiots who goes onto YouTube and tries this shit and tries to get free comp shit from Hasbro because they think that by kissing ass and sucking dick, they think that they're gonna get get free stuff and that they can just ride the gravy train. It doesn't work like that, jackass. If I tell you that it is bullshit that Hasbro tries that shit, then it's fucking bullshit. If Hasbro does something good, I give them fucking credit. If they fuck up, which they do a lot more than they actually do something good, I will call them out on that shit. This does not warrant a higher price point. Okay, so that is it for the review. There wasn't much here. You can only review the same figure almost, like you can only review it so many times before. Literally, it's the same fucking talking points. It's the weapon, it's the coloring. It isn't like these are totally different figures. It's a repaint, so that's why there's not much in the way of positives and negatives. I wish that there were no negatives, but there are, because Hasbro doesn't know how to fix their fucking shit. Okay, so stay tuned and I'll be right back with my final thoughts.
What are you doing?
Saving the future.
But how?
With Captain Power videotape, there are 3 different skill levels. This one's the toughest. Now we can practice anytime with the Power Jet XT7, score, or be hit.
Captain Power videotapes. I don't believe it.
Believe it, large human. The power of the future is in your hands.
Batteries not included. Jets figures and new interactive videotapes each sold separately from Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future.
Okay, everybody. So up next, finally, we have the final thoughts. And overall, what is there really to say about a figure that has been released? Let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3. I think about 3 times. 4 if you don't count. 4 if you count the Gold Bug from Legacy. But what does it really say about a figure that is heavily as repainted as Hubcap? The Cliffjumper mold, I think it is as versatile as the Seeker's mold is, meaning that you can literally slap a coat of paint onto these figures, give it a possible alt head job, and there, boom, new character. What does it really say about that? It looks nice, but I'll be honest, as a consumer, I feel a little bit insulted the fact that they are literally charging more for these repaints when they don't really justify it. I'm sorry, a different head sculpt does not justify a higher price point. Here, I forgot to put that on. Adding the same fucking weapon across three figures does not justify it. You need to add something more to justify a higher price point. That's something that Hasbro, that they just don't fucking get in their goddamn head. And it's a problem with us as a consumer also. We as a consumer have been conditioned basically to accept the bare minimum and pay higher for it. Granted, I participate in that. I bought this figure. But I also buy this figure so I can review it. That's the thing. If, I feel that if you buy something, I'm not talking about the people who get shit for free. Those people you should not fucking listen to. They're shills. Don't trust the shill, ladies and gentlemen. If you buy something, you should have the God-given right to be able to speak your mind about it. And by God, I pay for these figures, therefore I will speak my motherfucking mind. If I wanted to speak my motherfucking mind, I'd speak my mind when it came to the Nemesis right there, or the Ark above it. I could do that because I literally paid out the ass for those figures. And if I feel like wanting to shoot fire on them, I'll fucking shoot fire on them. Because I am given that right since I pay for these products. But like I was saying, what's there really to say, when it comes to figures that have had so many releases already, Like, it's a nice figure. I wish that they would do more with it, but until the consumer base decides to finally get their fucking balls out of Hasbro's purse, we're going to get shit like this all the time, you know, because Hasbro has their little army of shill reviewers. And you don't know who I'm talking about, just go to fucking YouTube. You could tell a shill when they get the products literally months before everybody else. I don't need to name names. You know who I'm talking about. But, you know, so like I said, it's hard to really say, you know, bring up talking points when you've done it already, you know, when they've had released some of these figures before. Hold on, I think I'm going to sneeze. Oh, I hate it when that happens. But like I said, I'm just, there's not much to really say. I like the head sculpt. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I just hate the fact that Hasbro takes advantage of the consumer. They feel that a different head sculpt and they add the same bullshit weapon and that justifies a higher price point. And no, it doesn't. You're literally paying for almost the same figure. The only difference is it's the coloring and the head sculpt. If it came with a shit ton of new weapons, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I can understand that. But when you're literally getting a yellow Cliffjumper, it's not worth a higher, you know, price point. Unless you're a completionist like I am, basically, you know. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I just want to give a quick update. As of recording this, I have hit 358 subscribers. I do want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed. It means a lot to me. It means that at least you agree with something I'm saying. You know, I don't expect everybody to agree with everything I say. I prefer to have, you know, free thinking people, you know, hear what I have to say. But at least I'm not the only one who thinks that, you know, possibly Hasbro is fucking over the consumers the way that they are, you know. But that's something that Hasbro is going to have to deal with in the future. They can only push the consumer base so far before the consumer base is finally, you know, they're finally like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not doing this shit anymore. And that's when that Hasbro is going to be fucking scared, because their little shills that they have out on YouTube, they're not going to be able to win over the consumer base. But, you know. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. Tomorrow it is Saturday the 23rd. I'm not really planning on doing, you know, any reviews that day. The 24th, Christmas Eve, I'm actually planning on another unboxing and review video. And then on Christmas, I will also be doing another unboxing and review video that day. So there'll be two unboxing and review videos coming up within the next couple days. So stay tuned. You'll see what they are. Until next time, my name is Jeff, a.k.a. GCurse. Wishing you all a great evening. Stay safe and happy holidays, everybody. Peace out.